I was told we have about 4 to 5 hours, so I'm excited about that. That is a joke. Some of you got a little nervous right there. So we're gonna share with you about LifeVantage here as far as the products and the opportunity. And then after that is done, we'll take about a 5-minute break, and then we're gonna help look under the hood as far as what it looks like to be a consultant and how to move forward with this business. And so we're gonna do that. Let me just say up front, I always love opening up with this just because I want people to understand this. Listen, if this is for you, great. If it's not, that's fine. And I mean that. I value friendship and relationship more than I do this business. And I love this business a lot. It has been a game changer for my family. And it's been a game changer for a lot of people that I've introduced, and I know for many of you in here. And so appreciate you guys being out here tonight and taking some time on a Friday night. What in the world? Right? There's so many other things you could be doing than hanging out with me on a Friday night. So that's very cool. I'm originally from Denver, and so that's where I'm from. So my Broncos, even though it's preseason, are starting off in 15 minutes, but I'm here, okay? Because my team is terrible. That's why. But go Nuggets. So there's that. It's been a championship this year. So thank you for that, right? Does Arizona have any teams?
Yeah, they took them out.
Did I say that out loud? Did I say that out loud? I did. Okay, I'm sorry.
You know, we still have a nuisance. We got legends here.
Wow. It's probably not the way to start off a meeting, but hey, we're there now. We've committed. We're in it. So I moved to Atlanta, and I've been there now officially 5 years this exact month. So that's where we're at now. But I want to share with you guys about LifeVantage. I have been part of LifeVantage now for 12 and a half years. And to be very honest with you, 12 and a half years ago, I was kicking and screaming when LifeVantage was introduced to me. I'll explain more of that story maybe here in a minute, but let me tell you how I got introduced to it. And it really goes back to over 20 some years ago, almost 25 years ago. My wife, at the time when she was a senior in high school, had multiple different health issues that she'd been diagnosed with. Ultimately, she felt like she had the flu 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. She just never felt good. Constantly achy, weak, sick, tired. She just always felt like she had the flu. And so that was her life. And we dated long distance throughout all of college. We got married a week after I graduated college. And when we started living together, I didn't realize how bad she felt until I saw her every single day feeling terrible. And she would have to take 2 to 4 hour naps every single day just so that when I got home from the things I was doing, that she felt like she had at least enough energy to spend time with me. And so we were literally spending tens of thousands of dollars out of our own pocket to help her feel even a little bit better. And this is how it was going on for years. And I've always been into alternative health. I'm not trying to be political in any way, shape, or form. We've just always been in alternative health. We tried the pharmaceutical route, and those actually made her feel way worse. And so we stuck with the alternative route. And in the process of that, I'm an entrepreneur by nature. And so ever since I was a little kid, anything I could flip for $5, I would. And that's just how my life was. I developed a website company when I was in Colorado. And in the process of that, I got introduced to another nutraceutical company out of Niwot, Colorado, right out of Boulder, Colorado, basically. And they had an ad on Craigslist saying, we need help with our websites. I'm like, I like natural products and I like building websites. I'm going to go see if I can help them. I looked at their website and it was terrible. It was trash. I'm like, I can help them. And so I went over there. They liked so much what I did, they actually asked me to be hired on full time to work with them as a subcontractor to build their websites like all the time. I'm like, well, this is a great deal for me because I don't have to go hunt for clients, right? So I went there, started working with them, and about a year into it, the guy said, you really enjoy this natural stuff, don't you? I said, actually, I do. I love it a lot. I kind of want a little bit of the story as far as my wife is concerned and how we've just gone down this, road, right? And ultimately he said, well, how about I pay for you to become a certified herbalist? I'm like, you're paying for it? I'm here already. Might as well do it. So I became a certified herbalist. And ironically, I didn't really use that much. And the reason why is because in December of 2010 was virtually right when I became a certified herbalist. Guess what was introduced to us? LifeVantage was. But I didn't really see a whole lot of excitement about LifeVantage. And let me explain to you why, because you might be sitting here today and like, what is this LifeVantage thing? Let me tell you what I saw and why it was different for me than probably for most people. I actually said no right out the gate. It was not even a conversation piece. And the reason for it is because as a certified herbalist, I work with people every single day giving health counseling, and I had people from all walks of life talk to me about their magic juju berries, African red mud, and wonderful magnets just to change life. And so it's really easy for me to say no about a whole lot of different things because I heard it all every single day. Well, here's the thing. You might be here tonight. You might have health issues. And if you do, it's very probable that people come out of the woodwork to talk to you about their magic juju berries all the time, right? So not only was I hearing all this stuff, but my wife was hearing all this stuff, all this magic juju berry stuff all the time too. So between the two of us, guess what? We were hearing everything under the sun. And to be fair, in December of 2010, when I was introduced to LifeVantage, I was not introduced to LifeVantage. I was introduced to our very first product, which is actually this blue bottle right here that we call Protandim. Now we call it Protandim Nerf 2 now, but that was what we were introduced to, and the person who introduced us actually did a pretty terrible job. And so we kind of just walked away saying, yeah, looks like every other magic juju berry that I've ever seen. And I'm just honest with you. But for whatever reason, my wife, she had the nerve to say, I feel like I want to go look more into this. I'm like, what? I'm the certified herbalist. That's kind of irritating to me. And honestly, my ego was a little, irritated at that. But she went to a meeting just like this in downtown Denver. And she called me up. This is before texting was illegal while driving. That's a good point, because I don't want you to feel like, oh, you guys one of them. She called me up after the meeting. She's like, Jason, I really want to try this product. What changed in your life? I want to tell you what changed in her life. The very first thing she told me was that this was a publicly traded company in the stock market. Now you have to understand something. In the nutraceutical industry, in the natural product industry, that is a very big anomaly. Not to say that there's not companies out there that aren't natural product companies that are publicly traded, because there are, but they are few and far between. So automatically, as an herbalist, that already perked my ears up to say, okay, that's different, okay? So I said, all right, I'm listening. Tell me a little bit more. She's like, I want you to watch this ABC prime time. So I said, text it to me. So while she's driving, she texted it, okay? So that was before everything was illegal with all that. So she texted me, guys. And so the very first thing is like an ABC primetime, a national investigative television show that was positive on a natural product? No way. And so I watched it and I was floored. We're gonna actually watch a little bit of it here in just a second. I was floored because again, in the nutraceutical industry, you just don't see things like that. And so by the time I watched it and the time she got home, I went and started doing Google like crazy, right? So I went to a website that you're going to hear me say a little bit in just a second. It's a website called PubMed.gov. Maybe you've never heard of it before, but it's the National Institute of Health. This is kind of like the library of all things health. It talks about health issues. It talks about pharmaceuticals. It talks about supplements, the whole 9 yards. And I went to PubMed.gov. I typed in Protandim, and guess what I saw? Things I didn't believe I was going to see. I actually saw peer-reviewed studies that were already published on this product, and some of them at that point in time were independent peer-reviewed studies. Let me explain what independent means. For some of you who might not understand that. That means these universities and medical institutions were spending their own time, energy, effort, and most important, money to research our products. And we're not talking little junior colleges and little no-name organizations. We're talking well over 20 plus universities, medical institutions by the names of like Harvard University, Florida State, Ohio State, Louisiana State, the American Heart Association, National Institute of Aging, just to name a few. Guys, that was a big, big deal to me. And I just started diving deep in this. So I'm just going to give you a little warning. I can get totally geeked out on the science of what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to try to control my tongue tonight, okay? Because we legit could be here for 4 hours. I will not do that, okay? unless you want to. Anybody want to do that? Okay, a couple of you want to. All right. So for the rest of you, go home. We're going to hang out here for a little bit longer, but no, we won't. I continue to go to bed. So we're going to watch this ABC prime time. When my wife got home, I said, we are absolutely going to get you on the product. But you know what I also said about myself? I'm absolutely going to get on these products too. And you might be saying, well, Jason, what health issues do you have? How many that I know of? And so the reason why I take these products every single day, and I have been now for 12 and a half years, is because I value my quality of life. And so that's why I started taking these products. And so we're gonna show you this ABC prime time, and I'm gonna get a little geeked out on the science, okay? Not too much, because we really could be here for a long time. If you go to pubmed.gov right now, you'll actually see that there's over 28 peer-reviewed studies that are there. We could spend a long time, so we won't. But we're going to talk about these things here. We now have over 30 products, so obviously we're not going to go through every single one of them. But what I want to do is I want to give you the overarching concept of what our products are doing and why. You've got to ask the question, why are all these universities and medical institutions spending their own time, energy, effort, and again, most importantly, money to study our products? Do you think Harvard University would go spend their tons of money to research something unless it was special? I want you to think about that, because as we watch this ABC primetime, I think it's going to answer some questions for you. So let's go ahead and jump into ABC primetime. I didn't even check to see if the volume was up, so we might play a little bit with this volume real quick.
Following is an ABC primetime investigative report that aired in 2005.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock? Just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life.
It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig.
Okay.
I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver.
This is pretty exciting stuff you're finding, huh?
It is. We're very excited about it.
His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And his decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body,
Leading to disease.
leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process.
It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us.
Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes.
Have you discovered the fountain of youth?
I wouldn't put it that way, but we may have discovered something that will tell us a lot more about how we age, what happens biochemically, and maybe how we can slow it down.
Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. Taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old. But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically.
45%, that's excellent.
Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Have we turned back the clock? Well, maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
All right, so that was the ABC primetime. One of the things I didn't say was, again, remember how we're publicly traded on the stock market? that ABC primetime, the night that aired, we had a penny stock. Our stocks were at $1 a share. And that night in off-hour trading, if you guys understand the stock market, this is just insane. Our shares actually jumped up to $20 a share in off-hour trading, which from a stock market world and penny stocks, that is absolutely insane for what that did. And that ABC prime time and the triggering of the stock market also triggered a bunch of other things that went on with all these universities and medical institutions to start studying this. And this is really kind of where LifeVantage really started creating its story. At that point in time, our products were actually on the shelves of retail like GNC, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid. So there's a bunch of stores out there. But ultimately, because of all the science and research, the product really needed a story to be told. That's why I'm here tonight. And that's why several of you have already jumped in as far as consultants with this company because of that story that needs to be told. And things are only getting better. Let me just put it this way. Although I've been part of this company for 12 and a half years, I'm actually more excited about where the company is right now than I was 12 and a half years ago. And I was like elated 12 and a half years ago. So things are really, really moving here. But let me just tell you, we watched this ABC prime time. I told my wife, let's get you on the products, guys. And in full disclosure, my wife's life drastically changed within a few weeks. But fast forward to today, she still has every one of those health issues. But where she used to feel like she had the flu 24 hours a day, some days a week, she still has bad days. But it's about every 6 to 8 weeks for a few days at a time. So guess what? We'll take it. We're thankful for that. And so ultimately, that's a big deal for our life. And ultimately, we'll talk about the business here in just a second and how that has changed your life as well. But I want to talk to you a little bit about the science about this. And so in that ABC primetime, you heard the phrase oxidative stress. You see it right here. And so let me just give you the layman's conversation piece. I'm going to use some really cool layman's terms here in a second. You're just going to love these. But oxidative stress, what is oxidative stress? Well, first of all, what you all need to know is everybody here has it. In fact, all mammals have it, so your little dog too has it as well. So all mammals have it. And oxidative stress, in all reality, is the internal rusting of the body. It's the foundation of why we have the health issues that we have. And so because every single person has it, if you have a health issue right now, most likely oxidative stress is that culprit. But you're saying, well, I'm good, I'm healthy. Well, you may be good and healthy now, but you still have oxidative stress. And that kind of goes back to my story. I took the products and still do take the products because although I don't have any health issues, I still do have oxidative stress. And frankly, when I'm 80 years old, I want to have a good quality of life back when I'm at that age as well. And so I do take the products. In fact, I take every single one of our products every single day. That's how much I love these products. So oxidative stress is a big deal, okay? Now, if you heard in the ABC primetime, John Quinones, the interviewer, he was taking this for 2 weeks. Did anybody catch this at the very, very end? How much his oxidative stress reduced just in 2 weeks? 45%. Okay. Now we can legally say, you'll see at the very bottom of the screen, we can legally say that in every one, we can reduce your oxidative stress by an average of 40% in the first 30 days. And as of today, we're still the only company that can even come close to that. So for me, to me, it was just like, this is a no-brainer. Why wouldn't I want this stuff? There's nothing on the face of this earth that even comes remotely close to this. So for me, it was just like, yeah, I need to be on this. My wife needs to be on this. And virtually everybody I know needs to be on this. So it just makes sense from a business standpoint, again, which we'll talk about here in just a second. But from a health standpoint, it absolutely seems important. So oxidative stress is a big deal. Now, you're saying you have 30 different products. What are your products doing? Why is there so much attention on all your products? What is really making them do what they're doing? And that's really where I love to spend some time with. We're not a pharmaceutical company, and technically we are a supplement company, but we really have coined a whole new term in the supplement industry. We like to call ourselves LifeVantage, the activation company. Lynette already mentioned the word activation a little bit earlier, and so let me give you a little thought process of what activation is. See, here's my layman's terms for you. You have all these pathways in your cells. In fact, there's a bunch of them. Our company has actually learned how to activate multiple of these cellular pathways, but each one of these pathways has a particular function. And it's all over the map of what these functions do. We'll kind of briefly talk about them here throughout the evening, but ultimately, here's some more layman's terms for you. This oxidative stress stuff, here's the word, clogs those pathways up. That's a good scientific word. It clogs those pathways up. And so the older we get, the less our body functions the way it's supposed to function. I remember when I hit 30 and I started getting some aches and pains, I'm like, wait a minute, this is way too early for this stuff to be happening. What is going on? Well, if we really get to the scientific nitty-gritty thing, it's the oxidative stress that's causing it, because those cellular pathways just aren't functioning the way that they're supposed to be doing. So in turn, by activating our body, we can reduce this oxidative stress by an average of 40%, allowing those pathways to start doing what they did when you were 15 years old. How many of you would like to feel like what you did when you were 15 years old, right? That's exactly what our focus on our products are trying to do. So what I want you to look at, I'm not going to, again, go through all 30 products. We're going to go through 2. You heard one already, Protein, and we're going to talk about another one in just a second. But when you look at all of our products, when you go to the website of the person who invited you here tonight, look at the website, and the large majority of our conversation is going to be around that activation principle. So oxidative stress is a big deal. And here is all the universities, medical institutions that are studying this. So here's a cool thing. You don't have to take my word for it. In fact, you don't have to take LifeVantage's word for it, because here's the deal. You might think after tonight, I'm a super smart guy. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I am not smarter than Harvard. I do know that. I am not smarter than the National Institute of Aging. I do know that. So what I love to do is say, don't take my word for it. Go to PubMed.gov. Go check out what Harvard said. Go check out what American Heart Association said. Go check out what the National Institute of Aging said. That's a wonderful thing, because for me as a consultant, that puts a whole lot of weight off my shoulders just to be able to say, hey, go read Harvard. They got some really cool things to say about this stuff. So these are just a few of the, or some of the universities, medical institutions, again, that you can go to PubMed.gov. So once we learn how to activate the NRF2 pathway that we saw with the Protein product in the ABC Primetime, as a company, we said, I wonder if we can do this activation in other ways too. And so guess what? We cracked the code for a lot of other pathways as well. So I'm going to talk about one more. This product has really gotten a lot of attention in the healthcare industry the last several years. You've probably heard it as the phrase of collagen. Now, you might be saying, collagen? Isn't this one of those vanity products? It's just all about skin, hair, and nails. It's just all about beauties and all beauty, and all the guys' ears just turned off. Hold tight, okay? Because I told you I take all the products every single day. I take collagen. I took it this morning when I woke up. See, what we need to understand, unfortunately, the marketing of collagen for the last several years has really done it a disservice, because 30% of our body's proteins are made up of collagen. So yes, it is about skin, hair, and nails, but I feel like one of those midnight infomercials back in the 80s and 90s. There's more. And so as you can see here up on the screen, it is not just about skin, nails, and hair, but we see a lot of other cool things. I like the bottom right hand of the second column here. How many of you would like to have better brain and cognitive support? How many of you would like to better think clearer, reduce brain fog? Right? That sounds like a good deal to me. What about this? How many of you would like to have better mental health and mood every single day? Okay, unfortunately, right now we have a pandemic in our world of depression. That's a chemical imbalance. I could really go a large conversation about that. But you know what? A lot of people have depression because their collagen peptides aren't functioning the way that they're supposed to. So that is just one angle of things. But collagen has a big aspect of mood. What about sleep? How many of you like to have better sleep? Collagen can affect that, okay? And you can go on in here. We have muscle recovery, we have gut health, we have joint health, we have eye health, we have liver function. These are all things that are focusing on collagen. And so where our product comes into play is that we have the ability to activate the body's own collagen peptides. Let me explain that. So you can go to the store and you can buy collagen, you can take collagen, that's great and all. But instead of just taking collagen, how many of you would like your body to create its own collagen peptides? That is what activation looks like with collagen. And that's what we're doing, is we're activating the body to create its own collagen peptides, which is a pretty phenomenal thing within itself. And so not only do we activate it, but as you can see here, we replenish the collagen as well as maintain it. So in turn, we just had a peer-reviewed study that was just released on this. Now again, we could be here for a few hours. We're not going to. So let me just kind of highlight that for you, will you? Let me here. So the one I really just want to focus on, this very first one. We learned in our peer-reviewed study that we can actually increase your collagen density. Do you see what that big number says right there? By 100%. Okay, that is a phenomenal thing to be able to say. Now, there's other things up there that we could talk about, like skin elasticity, skin roughness, the depth of wrinkles and things there that you can see change. But the biggest thing is the fact that your collagen the density of it was increased by 100%. Now, I can talk a lot about science, but I love just sharing pictures with you. And so here's the cool thing. A lot of the people on these pictures, I know there's also other pictures of people back here as well, that if you want to see these after we're done here, I'd encourage you to take a look. The cool thing about these is, like, the large majority of the people on the screen I know, like personally, like I know them, I've like talked to them, some of them are really good friends of mine. There's no Instagram filters. There's no Photoshop. There's no dermal needles or Botox or anything like that. These are collagen stories and testimonials of what these things are doing. So you can certainly look at these and just take a look at it. And you'll see not just hair, skin, and nails. You'll see lots of other things. Like right here, you'll see a picture of a person's legs, how they change. It's really kind of an incredible thing. But anyways, let me move forward here and show you what our product's doing as far as collagen density. Week 0, this is what the average person's collagen density looked like. And after just 8 weeks, you see it increase all the way that much after using collagen and what it was doing. So just some really cool things there that we can share with you. So one of the things of our company is that we're trying to have clean products. And we're trying to have all of our products to be clean. So as you can see here, this is one of our goals with this particular product. It is already fully clean, which is a really cool thing. I know that is important to me, and I know for a lot of you that's important as well. So we have the opportunity to share with you clean products too. So let's just move on as we go on. We do have all these products, anything from your daily vitamin type of mentality to our Protanum line. We also have gut health, skin health. We have hair health. We have brain function. And at the very, very far right side, you'll actually also see Pet Tandem. You know why we say a dog, they're 1 year old in human years, they're 7 in dog years. Do you know why we say that? It's because they actually have 7 times the amount of oxidative stress as humans do. And so, yeah, we can reduce the oxidative stress of humans too. So you see these products here. Here's the deal, guys. What we're really looking is the overarching conversation of activation. You actually see that right there. LifeVantage, the activation company. We're allowing the body to do what the body's supposed to do. So you might be saying, all right, you convinced me. I would love to be a customer. And that's great. We'd love to have you as a customer if you want to become a customer. But let me also just real quick talk to you about the business opportunity as well. My wife and I, after we saw her results within a couple weeks, she actually said, hey, do you mind if I do the business? And I'm going to be very honest with you. I wanted nothing to do with it. Okay. But she, in January 1st of 2011, she jumped in this business and she doubled our investment the first month. And then she did it the second month, and I said something stupid to her. Guys, don't ever say this to your wife. But I told her, oh, it's beginner's luck, and there's no way you could do it again. That was the dumbest thing I could have ever said. It was a bad idea. Don't say things like that. And so I got in trouble for saying that. But I learned real quick that LifeVantage is different. And there's a lot of things that really stuck out to me, because all the things that stuck to me about the product also stuck out to me as far as the business opportunity. Remember, publicly traded, ABC prime time, all those kind of things as well. But there's also some other things that we saw from the business side as well that we really got excited about too. So again, you can become a customer. If you'd like to become a customer, we'd love to have you as a customer. You have the opportunity to get retail price, or if you become a subscriber, you actually get the subscription price. Or you can become a consultant as well. And I should also say there's monthly rewards as well. As you are a subscriber, you get monthly rewards to help with some different things as well. Or you can become a consultant. There's a $50 annual renewal fee, but you get wholesale prices with their products. plus some amazing commissions. And I'm not going to get into all the commissions tonight because we get paid just a lot of different ways, a lot of great ways. I'm going to show you a couple different things as far as that's concerned. But one of the things that I want to share with you is just the difference between a retail customer, a subscription customer, and a consultant. You'll see there that there is basically a 20% gap in savings between a retail customer and a consultant. So you actually save on the product price as a consultant as well. And obviously if you become just a customer with a subscription. So one of the ways that we get paid, and this is something that we've just recently enhanced, that if you want to be a large influencer in just selling the products, not necessarily trying to recruit a bunch of people as far as a business, we actually compensate fairly heavy with that. I'm big into social media, and in the affiliate marketing world, these numbers actually are very well as far as affiliate marketing is concerned. That's really what this is. It's really an affiliate marketing program where you can sell our products. We don't carry overhead. If you see products at our house, it's because we use them. Okay, and I love that about this. And you get your own website. People can go to your website. They can order it directly, drop ships right to their home. You don't have to touch the stuff, which is a wonderful thing. But ultimately, anytime I sell to a customer, I get a minimum of 10%. And that's not only on their first order, but that is for the life of their subscription. So if they're subscribing 7 years from now, I'm still getting at least a minimum of 10%. By the way, I've had customers that have signed up since the very first month, 12 and a half years ago, that are still subscribing to the products today, which is just a phenomenal thing to think about. But you can see here that it also allows us to have up to an additional 20% for a grand total of 30% on all of our customers. So that means 30% every single month on all new customers and old customers on subscription for the life of their subscription. So 1 month, 10 years, does not matter. We can get up to that full 30%, which is really, in the affiliate marketing world, a really big, beautiful pay for that. But again, infomercial at 1 a.m., there's more, okay? And we get paid a lot of different ways. This is one of my favorite things that I can share with you. And this is our earning income statement. This is something that we actually published to NASDAQ. We are a publicly traded company on NASDAQ. In fact, just a couple weeks ago, we rang the NASDAQ closing bell. I was invited to that, and I didn't get to go because I already had another speaking engagement that I had already committed to. I was so bummed about that. But this is something that actually gets published. And so I'll just real quick want to share a couple things with you. So on the left-hand column is, and the screen's a little light, so you might not be able to see that. On the left-hand column is our consultant ranks. We have consultant all the way up to presidential consultant. On that third column is a column I really want you to focus on. It says monthly average commissions. Okay, so a couple things. First of all, monthly. These are what we get paid every single month. Second, average. This is what the average person, now I know every single one of you in here is a superstar, and I get that, okay? But can I just talk to you as though you're average for just a second here? If you want to know what the superstar does, that's what the fifth column's all about, okay? But I want to talk to you just as you're average. And the third word there is commissions. Now we get paid something, this reason why I decided to jump in this business, something that we call leveraged income. You're saying, what is leveraged income? Leveraged income, if I were to define it, it would be the concept of where you work once, and if you do it right, you continually get paid for the work that you've done. So as an example, there are things, as I just mentioned, that I did 12 and a half years ago that I'm still getting paid for today, okay? Now, if you go to my Facebook profile, you'll see what my little tagline is, and I love saying this tagline. I have 4 kids. My oldest is a senior, and then I have a 9th grader, and then I have an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old. And my tagline on Facebook says this: I'm a stay-at-home dad with a stay-at-home wife. And a lot of people scratch their head and say, how do you do that? Well, leveraged income. My 2 youngest kids have never known me to work outside of the house. They just don't even understand that concept. In fact, a few years ago, right before we moved to Atlanta, my family has decided, before traveling full-time in an RV was cool, we actually bought an RV. We traveled all across the United States for almost a full year. We just left. And it was awesome. It was one of the coolest things I have literally ever done. But my oldest kids were getting older, and I know that they wanted to be in high school sports, and so now they are. And so we're the varsity volleyball coach and the varsity basketball coach. So we do that stuff. But eventually, we're going to get back on the road. We're going to go do that again. I was just telling Mark over here that our goal is actually here, probably within the next 4 or 5 years, to go over to Europe and travel for probably a whole year or so and do that. And how do we do that? Guys, because of leveraged income. And let me just say this, I am a normal person, okay? I put my pants on the same way all of you put your pants on. Let me just put it that way, okay? When I first jumped this company, I had no hope. I just felt like we're just gonna do this, we're gonna get paid a little bit to pay for the products that we were buying. I didn't have a clue that this could do really what it does. And so you might be that person that's a little skeptical. Let me tell you why. One of the reasons why LifeVantage is different is because you have groups just like this that are your support structure. You have an outstanding mentorship group here, and even in this room, there's some outstanding mentors that want to take you under their wing and help you build this business. And when I jumped in this business, that was one of the things that sold me, was that I had people who had already had success, who were already doing the amazing things and saying, hey, Jason, let me show you how to do this business. And they took me under their wing. And listen, I learned it wasn't rocket science, but I did realize it was work, and I had to go work the business. And so I worked it. I did what they told me to do. And guys, here's the thing. 18 months later, I completely replaced my income from my website development company, and I was floored. And all of a sudden, at that point in time, I said, now what? I said, well, I'm not at the top. So let's just keep going with that. So here we are 12 and a half years later, and it's getting closer every day. And we're very excited about what LifeVantage is doing. Yeah, I can truly say we're more excited about LifeVantage than we were 12 and a half years ago. So you can check out this. I just want to show you a couple numbers. As a managing consultant one, again, I know it's light, but the average managing consultant one on a monthly basis is $1,639 a month of leveraged income. That's roughly $20,000 a year. This is a generational legacy asset, retirement asset that I can pass on to my kids, grandkids, great-grandkids. How cool is that? Okay, that I can pass this on as a generational asset to my kids and my grandkids, et cetera, et cetera. $20,000 a month, $1,639 a month, leverage income, $20,000 a year, I should say. And here's what it says at the very, very, very far right there. It says the average month for the person to get from the time they jump in is 10 months. 10 months from now, how many of you would like an extra $20,000 a year and leverage income? Okay, obviously it's average, so some people take longer. Some people take shorter, but that's the average. Look down here at the Managing Consultant 3, $7,500 a month. That's $91,000 a year. That's like true retirement income for most people. Like most people are like, I will retire with $7,500 a month. I'm good with that, okay? And it says there at the far right column, 20 months average. Again, some people take less, some people take more, but 20 months. That's a pretty phenomenal thing. Leveraged income. If there's one thing in the business that I want you to really focus on, is leveraged income. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And so that's what really has helped in our family's life. There's other ways that we can get paid as well, such as who wants a free Jeep? I love my Jeep. I absolutely love my Jeep. You can have the opportunity to get a free Jeep, or they'll give you cash. I chose the Jeep, and I just love it. And it's fun to know that I have a token that everywhere I go for the work and stuff that we put in, and that's just a really cool thing. Our company also does trips all over the place. Right now, we're working on an incentive trip to Punta Cana. Last year, for the executive consultants, which are the top of the company, we actually got to go to Maui, which is obviously a very sad thing right now going on in our world. Our company right now, as of today, there is a place to donate at the very bottom of our website. If you'd like to go and donate to help with Maui and the fires that are going on there, you can do that, which is a really, really kind of a cool thing. When we went there a couple years ago, we actually did a service project while we were there. In fact, a couple different service projects. It was a lot of fun. But right now is a good time to think about that. We do give free trips, and let me tell you something about these trips. They are amazing. They're always amazing, and the company goes well over the top as far as that. So let's just real quick, getting started. If you want to become a customer, obviously it's a simple becoming a customer. Go to the person who invited you here tonight. You can go to their website. If you want to become a consultant, the very first thing you do is pick your pack. We have about 5 different packs there. 2 of the hottest packs that most people do get are the Healthy Glow Pack, which is the Protanum Nerf 2, as well as that collagen. My favorite is actually the business pack, because it gives you almost every single one of our products. And the reason why I like that one is because here's the thing. If it's a business and I want to run it, I probably should be taking all the products. And what I learned is people are going to ask you, hey, Jason, do you take the skincare? And I can say, I do. And I do every single day. And I did since day one when I got the business pack. Okay, so I really encourage you, if you really want to go far with this business, really consider that business pack. But this is definitely my second pack that I really enjoy. So pick your pack, but then you can also pick, secondly, your monthly, whatever it is that you want to order. Guys, I have a family of 6. We love the products. My kids all take this, and I say this not to scare you, but we spend well over $700 every single month on my family. And it's not because we have to. We do it because we love the products. My kids love the products. We have fish oil, and it's such a cool fish. You know what my kids do? Even my senior daughter, she chews the fish oil. And you're probably like, what? Here's the thing. If you have fish oil that tastes like fish, that means it's actually gone toxic and it's not good for you anymore. We can actually trace our fish oil to the very boat that it was fished off of. It's wild caught. It's a beautiful thing. And so, yeah, I tried it. I'm like, my daughter's doing that? I'm like, I'm going to try it. Listen, it's not my favorite taste, but it doesn't taste fishy. Okay? But that's just another thing.
Lemon lime.
Lemon lime with a little flair of something.
Right. I've done it too.
Don't know what that flair is,
Swallow
but
it.
there's a little flair, right? Step 3 is that we're going to help you get not only your return on investment back with what we call our 3-in-1, but we also want you to start building your dreams. Again, one of the biggest reasons why I do this business is because I knew that when we first started this, we didn't dream. We had so much debt because of my wife's health issues. I mean, we had over 6 figures of debt, and it was hard to breathe financially. I made good income. But when your debt's this high and your income's this high, it's hard to breathe. And so we, after about 2 years, we really started to say, we can start dreaming again. And so one of my missions is to help people dream again. And so maybe that's you. You're like, I haven't dreamed for a long time. You know, as a kid, they always say, what do you want to do when you grow up? Why did that change, right? We grew up and we stopped dreaming. Listen, I want you to start dreaming again. I know LifeVantage can be that vehicle for you. And so we will want to show you how to do all that kind of stuff. We are having a big global convention in San Antonio in October. We're actually having these meetings just like this, where corporate's flying in executive consultants all across the United States. Guys, you made the list. Look at there. That's good. I was in Colorado last night, did the one in Colorado last night. And so looking forward to being able to get to San Antonio, one of my favorite venues for our events. It's just a really cool place. But anyways, if you have any questions, I'm going to be up here. We're going to take about a 5 to 10 minute break. Obviously, there are people here who invited you here, so if you're a guest and you want to ask them, certainly feel free to. But take a 5 to 10 minute break. Then what we're going to do is we're going to get back up here, and we're just going to go through what we call new consultant launch training. How to launch. This is actually I am very passionate about. Sometimes when corporate flies me to different places, they say, we want you to teach on this. I'm like, but I actually like talking about this one. This to me is a very, very important thing. And in fact, to be fair with you, I believe this is one of the most important things that you can do with a brand new consultant that comes in, is how to launch them effectively. And so we're going to talk about that tonight. And for those of you who do know me, I actually started building this business in the traditional network marketing fashion. Okay, the knee-to-knee, belly-to-belly, coffee shop conversation, home meeting, these type of things. I love these, okay? But I also told you that I had some website development background. And so I also like building on social media and the internet. We didn't get to do that for the first several years. In fact, on our policies and procedures as a company, we couldn't even do that. In fact, I got a cease and desist order from LifeVantage at the very earliest parts of this company saying, you need to stop doing them. Like, what am I doing? It was just, they just didn't understand. And, obviously a few years ago, they lifted that up, and now we can build on the internet. So I'm going to give you kind of a mixture tonight of both social media as well as traditional. Are we okay with that? You guys want to learn a little bit about social media too, as well as traditional? Let me give you my rule of thumb. Anything you can do in person, do it in person, okay? Social media, the internet's a wonderful world. Zoom's a wonderful world, but let me just tell you something. You're going to have so much faster success through this type of scenario because of relationships that are built than you will through social media. It's a lot harder for you to break through a social media relationship than it is in this world, okay? Now, I am not against social media. I use social media about 85% of my business. I sign up probably 95% of my people through social media. So I love it. But I will give you this hint personally that when I sign up somebody on social media, I go meet them in person. That's just my rule of thumb. I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm just saying that's what I do. So I do have some guidelines that we're going to share what the corporate has given me, but I'm also probably going to go a little off the cuff tonight. If that's okay with you guys, do you have permission to do that? Okay, we'll maybe do that a little bit tonight. So this is kind of what we're going to talk about, just these different types of things tonight. Again, 4 hours. Are we good with 4 hours? Still no. Okay. All right. Well, all right. Fine. We'll just move forward. Talk about the different things. We're going to talk about these things: connecting, sharing, building, growing, leading, and going from there. And I'm just going to give a full disclosure. Listen, I didn't put this PowerPoint together. This is corporate's PowerPoint. So some of it I'm just going to read, okay, and then I'll give you my input. So here we go. Are you ready?
Yep.
Connecting. Sounds like a Webster's Dictionary.com definition. Connect. To bring together and to contact so that a link is established. Definition 2, to feel close to someone or have a good relationship with them. And definition 3, to join together. I'm going to teach you tonight how to connect. Okay? We are in an industry that we call network marketing. It is a phenomenal industry. It is growing faster than virtually any other industry that out there in this type of world. In fact, in 2015, I know that was a few years ago, the Direct Sellers Association said that 50% of homes in America would have a network marketer in their house. That was 2015. Okay? Things have drastically moved forward with that, and I believe those numbers are probably fairly accurate as far as that. So we're going to teach you a little bit how to network. I'm going to give you some practical application and help you out with that. So obviously, in the network marketing industry, we always talk about the circle of influence, the low-hanging fruit, your warm market, and I believe those are absolutely powerful. Let me give you a little social media tip. A lot of times, this is just something I do. You don't have to do this if you're a social media expert. You do you. I'm just telling you what I do, okay? I have a lot of people that come to me all the time in social media and say, Jason, I want to do this 100% social media. And I smile, and I nod, and I say, okay. All right. But what I've learned is that as soon as they jump in, I'll ask them this question. So who do you know that you think might be interested in LifeVantage products or the business? And guess what? Unequivocally, every single person I've ever signed up in social media that I've launched has always said, I've got this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. So I don't believe in a 100% social media world. I just don't. Because I believe that as people really see the value of what LifeVantage has to offer for both the product and the business, that they're thinking about people in their mind outside of the social media world, their warm market, their circle of influence, their close friends and family, those different types of people, okay? So I'm just going to tell you, as a rule of thumb for me personally, I always still even ask the people who want to do it 100% social media, who do they know in the warm market? And guess what? I would say probably 99% of the time, that's a statistic I'm making up, but I'm just telling you, that they all contact somebody in their warm market, and usually multiple people, okay? So don't neglect that. I think that's a very powerful thing for you to understand. I like low-hanging fruit. Do you like having people that want to jump in right away, or do you really want to stress yourself out trying to find people? Okay, I think we're all on the same page with that, right? So warm market's always a key thing here. So let's just move on with this. Again, I didn't write these slides. I'm just going off of meeting people. How do we meet people? Let me give you some practical application, okay? When I went through this, I laughed. Like, get to know people, find common interests, ask for help, exchange contact information. This is good stuff, guys. Let me help you out a little bit better, okay? Let me tell you a little few things I do. Obviously, you know, this is talking a lot about cold market. They have a wonderful slide that goes along with this, and building relationships, schedule meetups, listen, send relevant content, comment on social posts, show appreciation. I want to show you this one here because we're going to just weave these things back and forth. Let me give you a couple places that I love to talk to people. Rule number one, when talking to cold market, This is gonna knock your socks off. So just get ready to write this thing down because this is gonna change your life. Are you ready? Smile. It's gonna absolutely knock your socks off when you smile at somebody, how they respond to you, okay? Listen, you go to the grocery store, you go to a coffee shop, you go to a restaurant, and everybody treats those people rude all the time. So when you come in their life and you actually smile and say, hey, how are you? It's like, what in the world? This person's crazy. What's going on? I'm telling you, that little hint will change the way that you interact with people. So just be kind to people. I know that I really feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but I do have to say it, right? So just be nice to people. But let me also say this. I am not here to make a sale. Saying, aren't you in a business? Aren't you trying to sell? Yeah, I am. But here's the thing. I learned a long time ago that I have unattached myself from the results. What do I mean by that? Look, if people tell me no, I don't care. I do care because I really want their life to change from the products as well as the business. But at the end of the day, I really don't care if they say yes to me because I want them to be in LifeVantage or be a customer because they want to be a customer, because they want to be a consultant. I learned when I first jumped in this business that when I pulled people's hair to get them to be consultants, it was not only pulling their hair to get them to be consultants, but guess what? It was pulling their hair after to have them work and be consultants. And let me tell you something, that was no fun. It was always butting heads, and I did not enjoy that. Neither did they, frankly. So I learned that I cannot be attached to results. I want them to be a part of this, whether a customer or a consultant, because they truly want to be a part of it. I can work with that, okay? So when I talk to anybody I talk to, I have to learn right out the gate is that when people tell me no, that's just a fact of life. I don't know how you are, but I feel like that when I'm in a group of people that I'm sitting down, and maybe it's a church function or some type of club function, or maybe even something like this, where you're sitting there and you're like, oh man, I really need some gum. And you start pulling out your gum and you're thinking, Sally's probably gonna want some gum, so is Johnny. They're sitting next to me and I feel like it would be rude for me just to pop a piece of gum in, right? Do you feel that way?
Yeah, without all.
Yeah, like, right, so you gotta feel like you have to offer it. So you take the gum, you pop in your mouth, and you're like, hey, Sally, would you like to have some gum? And Sally's like, oh yeah, they're so great. So Sally takes some, and you just don't think anything of it. Then you go over to Johnny and say, hey, Johnny, would you like some? And Johnny says, hey, no, thank you. What, you big jerk? I cannot believe you did not take the gum I just offered you. Do you do that? No. You're just unattached to results. Fine, that's just another stick of gum for me. Right? So, guys, I want you to have that attitude when you're doing this. I'm offering, I'm giving the information. If they don't want it, that's up to them, right? I don't want them to feel like I'm trying to corner them in something to make them take the LifeVantage products or the business. I don't want to do that. Think about it like a stick of gum. If they take it, they take it. If they don't, they don't. And that is totally fine. So, a couple areas of practical application. Let's say I'm at a grocery store. I mean, probably all of us, these self-checkout lines are probably a detriment to us as network marketers. I still like self-checkout, but at the same point in time, I also like to meet people. So we try to go to lines that aren't heavily populated, right? And so I always try to go to the grocery store on off hours. Now I live in Atlanta, so it's like all time is on hours. I mean, like literally, you can go there at 11 o'clock at night and it's still bustling with people everywhere. Like, this is ridiculous, right? But I try to go to the ones that are not, and here's what I do. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I do. Are you ready for this? I mean, like word for word. I've done this so many times, it's ridiculous. I go up to the person and I say, hey, how are you today? And they look at me like, this guy's different than everybody else. He smiled and he asked how I was doing. And they'll usually say, I'm doing all right, or I'm doing fine, or I'm doing good. And I'll say, hey, do they have you working hard today? And some people say, well, I just got on my shift. Or some people say, well, I've been here all day. It's been kind of a cruddy day. I'll say, well, how long have you been working at such and such a grocery store? Oh, well, I've only been here for 3 weeks. Or I've had a lady say this to me, I've been a cashier at this particular grocery store, King Soopers. This was back in Longmont, Colorado, where I grew up at. I've been there for 30 years working as a cashier at a King Soopers. So I don't care whether it's 3 weeks or 30 years. You know what I say next? I'll say, well, you must be about ready to retire. You know what the 3 week person does? They laugh. Ha, that's funny. You know what the 30-year person does? They look at me with a very serious face, and all of a sudden their face goes pale. Because they realize, like, nothing's going to happen with that. I need to change something. And so I'll say, oh, really? You're not able to retire anytime soon? I'll say, hey, do you know what leveraged income is? And obviously they most of the time say no. And I'll say it's the concept where you work once, and if you do it right, you continually get paid for the work that you do. There's things I did 5 years ago that I'm still getting paid for doing. And every single time, they look up at me with bright eyes, they point at me. They point at me, and they say, that's what I want. And I'll say to them, well, I know you're on shift right now. Do me a favor. When you print my receipt, give me your phone number on the receipt, and I'll give you a phone call. What time tomorrow is a good time for me to call? Well, you can call me after 2:30. Great. How about I call you at 3 o'clock tomorrow? Does that work? Sure. And guess what I do at 3 o'clock tomorrow? I give them a phone call. Guys, I can't tell you how many times I've done that. And it has worked every single time that I've done that. But key things, smile, and just be nice, okay? That's just practical application. That's just meeting people. Trying to meet people where they're at. I'm not trying to force things on. I'm just having a conversation with them. I want to see what their pain, needs, and wants are, okay? So just some thoughts with you. Same thing with waiters or waitresses. I just be nice to them. And if I feel like they're one of those exceptional waiters or waitresses, I might say at the very, very end of the meal, I might just say, I just really appreciate how well you took care of me and my family or all the people that are here. Are you interested in other income opportunities? Because you're a person that I feel, just based on the way you served us here tonight, I really feel like you would be a really good business partner with us. And then I'll just leave it there, okay? So guys, just be nice to people. And that's really what it is, just asking questions, seeing what their pain, needs, and wants are in the warm market. Social media, guys, just give value. I don't ever market people. I don't cold message people in social media. I don't. They come to me. And the reason why they come to me is because I'm just nice to them. And I give a lot of value and content, whether it's on their particular post, whether it's in a group. People start coming to me. And so social media, in my opinion, is no different than real world stuff. It's just it's behind a screen as opposed to behind a cashier or a cash register at a grocery store, okay? Let's move on. So your circle of influence. We want to share LifeVantage. How do we share LifeVantage? With what we call ITT, Invite Tool Team. This is something that I am very adamant with my team, my organization. We are adamant on Invite Tool Team. We want to keep this simple. What we learn is that we complicate this business. But this business is actually really simple. I didn't say it was easy. It's simple. We just overcomplicate it. So I want to teach my team how to invite people. Inviting is important because, listen, if you don't get them to a presentation, it doesn't really matter, does it? So we want them to learn, so we invite them. We focus a lot of time on inviting. And so here's the thing. How do you learn how to be a really good inviter? Invite a lot. I know that's so bizarre, right? But if you invite a lot, you're going to get better at it. You're going to get a lot of people who tell you no, and that's going to help you hone your skills. And so if you are unattached to the results, you're going to look at the world as a giant opportunity. There is 8 billion people in this world. And this many people know about LifeVantage. So people tell you no, that's okay, because someone somewhere, even in the Phoenix area, probably next door neighbor, is praying for something like LifeVantage to come in their life right now. You just need to open your mouth, right? We often say is if your mouth is closed, so is your business, right? So just go invite. Same thing on social media. You just go invite. There's 3 billion people alone on Facebook. If somebody tells me no, I'm not upset about it, because I know there's still 3 billion people on Facebook. And I've been doing Facebook for years now, and guess what? I haven't even scratched the surface of it. Same thing with where I live. Atlanta's not even on the map with LifeVantage virtually. I know Phoenix isn't either, and you're like, well, Phoenix is kind of a big place. Well, yeah, but in all reality, Phoenix is virtually untouched with this business and with these products. So we're just going to go invite. What are we inviting to? We invite to a tool. I personally invite, I love these type of events. So if they're local, again, anything I can do in person, I love doing these types of events. I love doing coffee shops. I love about doing home meetings. But I love doing that, and I always love putting the third-party team together. So invite tool and team together. Why? Because killing two birds with one stone just makes sense, right? I don't like adding things. So anytime I can keep things simple, I try to simplify things. So I try to always put the team and tool together. So for those of you who are here tonight, congratulations, you did that, right? You did the team and tool together. That's a very important thing. And I'm going to tell you something. If you haven't already done this, when you throw that team, that third-party validation in your business, and you make that an adamant thing in your business that I am going to get every single person that I talk to about LifeVantage, whether product or consultant, if I get that third party involved, that is a game I play. I want that person to come. And the reason why I want that third party is because I've learned that the numbers of people jumping in as a customer or consultant, and that third party validation there is through the roof higher compared to when that third party's not there. So I love getting a third party involved. And yes, even as an executive consultant in this company, I still use third party validation. Why? Because to me, it's that important. And I want my team to see that as well. So invite tool team. This is something I want to teach my brand new consultant right out the gate, help them understand exactly how that whole thing works. Now, these are just some different ways that you can invite them to hear about the company. Obviously, there's some things about social media there, such as your Facebook page, unboxing video, testimonials. If you go to my Facebook page, you're probably going to look at me and say, Jason, I literally see nothing about LifeVantage on your Facebook page. You're right, you don't. But I do have other Facebook accounts, secondary Facebook accounts, secondary Instagram accounts where I am blazing fire with LifeVantage. That's how I do it, okay? I'm not saying if you want to do it on your main profile, you're wrong, okay? Because there's other presidential consultants in this company who do that way, and they're totally fine and right for doing that way. I'm just telling you how I do it, because some of you might be confused when you go to my main profile, like he says he does social media, but I don't see anything about social media on his thing. I do, it's just in different avenues. I like secondary accounts. For me personally, I like to keep my main profile for my main profile as using as just a networking tool, as a social media tool like it's supposed to be, and everything else on the other side. But again, you're not bad or wrong if you don't do it that way. But just some different thoughts. I have an Instagram account that I do 99% collagen, and I'm doing this, and every single day I'm just throwing pictures up there, and I'm throwing reels up there and stories up there, and I've signed up tons of customers, consultants from that. Occasionally I'll get in there and do an Instagram live where they see my face, but for the most part, I'm just throwing a bunch of things up there and throwing some just some different elements of collagen up there. And it's not my name on it. It's not Jason Kokenzie. It's just something different. And guess what? People are attracted. I started that in June of last year, and I have 800 some followers on it. I know it's not a huge account, but it's enough because I'm getting consultants and I'm getting customers out of the whole thing. And they've been repeat customers and consultants, which is really kind of what we're looking for, right? So don't make it challenging. I think a lot of times people look at social media and they make it too overwhelming. The key piece with social media when you're looking at any of these things and you're presenting is the fact that you just give value. That's really what you're doing, is you're just giving value on how we go about doing that, okay? So when you are talking to people, again, very simple, share what you love about the company and products. Tell your prospect why you want them to join. Set time so they can learn more. Let me focus on number 2 real quick. I've learned that a lot of times we share the information with the person that we want to hear the information, but we don't give them any direction. What do I mean by that? Hey, Mark, let me tell you all about LifeVantage. Let me tell you all about the nitty-gritty about the products and all the nitty-gritty about the business. And then you said, hey, Mark, thanks for coming today. I'll talk to you here in a couple days. And Mark was like, okay, I learned about LifeVantage. And then Mark goes on his merry way, and I gave him no direction. What do I mean by that? Hey, Mark, you know what? A couple weeks ago, you told me about some health issues that you have. And I think LifeVantage could really help you out with some of those things. Hey, Mark, a couple weeks ago, you told me about some financial issues you had. Hey, Mark, a couple weeks ago, you told me about maybe retirement issues that you have. Hey, listen, I found something I think you might be interested in, and I think LifeVantage could be that vehicle. See, I'm giving them direction, okay? A lot of times we just leave things open-ended, and so people look at it as an open-ended conversation, like, yeah, I guess if I want to make a decision, I'll make a decision. So sometimes I'm very specific and I say, hey, Mark, you know what? I really, really like you. And I really feel like you and I would have a lot of fun in this business. And I would really love for you to be a business partner with me in this business called LifeVantage. That was very specific, wasn't it? And so the expectation was there right up front so that when I walk away from there, Mark's not scratching his head saying, I wonder what Jason wanted. No, he knows. He knows, okay? Sometimes it's not business. Sometimes it's product, right? So I talk about everything to everybody because here's the thing, even though Mark and I may be super, super close friends, he may be very private about his health, right? You have friends like that you all of a sudden you realize they have a health issue, you didn't know about it. You're like, why didn't they tell me? Because some people are just super private about those things. And so I always tell the whole package. I always talk about the product. I always talk about the business because I don't want to assume that I know a person's life. So I let them make the decision, okay? So tell your prospect what you want from them, okay? Third, set up a time so they can learn more. Obviously, that makes sense in order for you to get the presentation. Let me go just real quick. We'll just move on here. Oops. Biggest thing I want to focus on this is the very last point. But product experience, share your story, highlight products, review business opportunity, pick your pack and stack to close, and then schedule. I like that corporate action put that word in there, schedule. This is something I'm very passionate about. Schedule your follow-ups. I always schedule a follow-up to 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 a follow-up. You're saying, when do you stop scheduling follow-ups? When either they say yes or no. Sometimes that takes months, but we schedule follow-ups, okay? So as soon as I get done with presenting with somebody, I schedule a follow-up, usually within 24 to 48 hours. I give them some homework, I schedule a follow-up, but I don't phrase it that way, okay? I never say, hey, let's schedule a follow-up. I always phrase it in a way, say, hey, you know what? It sounds like you're interested in the customer or as a consultant. I'm gonna send you a bunch of information from here. Thank you for joining me tonight. And here's a bunch of videos on the product. Here's a bunch of videos on the business. You're probably gonna have some questions. So when we talk Thursday at 3 o'clock, I'm just wanting to see what questions you have. I'm not here to push anything. You guys know the follow-up statistics, right? What it looks like. Follow up one time, how many people, what percentage of people sign up? 1%. Follow up 2 times, 2%. Follow up 3 times, you're ready, 5%, right? Follow up 4 times, it goes all the way up to 10%, but if you follow up 5 times, it goes all the way to an 80% success rate. So I teach my team, let's play a game. And the game is, how many times can you schedule a follow-up with the people you're talking to? Our goal is a minimum of 5. But we try to get that, and obviously there's a huge success pattern when we get to that 5th time. And I'm just telling you from my experience, I can almost say it's 100% with people that I get to when I get to that 5th time. Those statistics are uncanny to me. And eventually, when you start scheduling with these people, and again, it's scheduled. They know it's a schedule. They're putting in their calendar. I'm putting in my calendar. Sometimes by the 3rd scheduled follow-up, they start scheduling the 4th follow-up themselves. I'm like, dude, this is the way to go. You're scheduling it now. That's what I want, okay? So I could spend a lot of time on following up and how to do that, but can I just say this? Schedule your follow-ups. If you want to make this business be a big business, schedule your follow-ups, okay? If you're a brand new consultant, we have a wonderful thing called Big Blue. It doesn't get used as much as I think it should. I appreciate Lynette throwing this event on Big Blue tonight because that's how I found this place. Big Blue Calendar is a wonderful opportunity. You can put your meetings just like this or home meetings all across the world. And you can invite people to virtually these meetings that are up on Big Blue or open to the public type of thing. And so those are very, very cool for you to be able to do that. So I encourage you to schedule these meetings and then to put them on Big Blue. This is the QR code if you want to. If you can just go to bigbluecalendar.com and that will take you there as well. But I encourage you with that. Moving on, let's talk real quick about fast track bonuses. A brand new consultant, the company gives you your enrollment month plus an additional 3 months to go through what we call our fast track bonuses. Ultimately, what that means is that if you enroll 3 customers and 1 consultant, you maximize your fast track and you get paid more money. It's something that they do to incentivize you right out the gate to make more money. Why not make more money, right? So that gives you an opportunity. There's a video next. We're actually not going to watch the video just for sake of time. But ultimately, our company allows us as a brand new person to be able to get, again, your return on investment, as well as to make some more money at the very, very beginning to help you get this business started. Our goal always as a company has really been to help benefit the brand new person out the gate, to help them make this business launch. What we don't want is you going in debt. What we do want is to help you start building a really good solid foundation as far as money is concerned. So if you do this over the course of those 90 days, the income can actually increase quite well with a total bonus of about $350 there. But as an enroller, if I enroll somebody who's brand new, there's also opportunity for me to make some money if my personal consultants who are brand new hit that fast track method too. So this is important, okay? I encourage you to launch those people. I always, when I launch a consultant, I always launch them out and sit down with them within the first 24 hours and take the launch guide that you can find on the website, and I actually walk them through that launch guide. I'm a little biased about that particular launch guide because I helped design it, so I'm very biased about it actually. I love it though, because it really does help me to say, all right, what's your why? Why do you want to do this? What are your goals? It helps me as the mentor in the situation have proper expectations for them and help them have proper expectations for the business. Because here's the thing, my dreams are not their dreams, right? I don't know if they want to be an executive consultant. They may just want to make a couple $100 a month. And if they only want to make a couple $100 a month, but I'm trying to push them like an executive consultant, guess what's going to happen? Eventually there's going to be some butting heads again, okay? So I want to know what their expectations are. And so that's why I take that time at the very beginning of a brand new consultant to launch them appropriately, because I need to know where they're coming from. And that really helps both them and me. We have a little track sheet that you can get, and basically it takes you through month 1, 2, and 3 of getting their 3 customers and 1 consultant so they can get their fast track. This is something for me, I personally print out for them and I hand it to them. And I say, I want you to write these things down. I don't just show them the sheet. I want them to print it out. I want them to write things down. People, when they write things down physically, it's a better memory jogger for them to help them on a daily basis, okay? If you have your phone, you can actually go to the QR code and actually pull that right off and do that whole scenario, okay? All right, last but not least, and then we're about done here. Set your goals. SMART is the key phrase there. Be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. Question for you, practical application. Do you have goals right now written down in LifeVantage? Some of you are looking at it with some very frightened faces right now. I believe it's important, okay? And again, I encourage you to write them down. At my house, I have a giant whiteboard about the size of this. And it's at a very prevalent place in my office that I see every single day. And on the left-hand side, I have our Punta Cana roadmap. And then over here, I have how am I going to get to presidential by the end of 2024? And it's a specific roadmap, okay? It's my goals. It's how I'm going to get those things every single day, what I'm supposed to do every single month, et cetera, et cetera. I have it written down, okay? Can I encourage you guys to write it down? People who write their goals down have like a 75% higher ability to make those goals than people who don't. That is a phenomenal thing to me when you think about that. You say, well, Jason, I struggle with habits. Can I give you a little book advice? I'm a huge fan of books. I'm a huge audiobook listener. Probably one of my most favorite books in the last 5 years is a book called Atomic Habits. Anybody ever read Atomic Habits? Probably one of my most favorite books. Okay, I encourage you to read it. Learn about habit stacking. It will change your life if you can do that, and especially within the world of LifeVantage, okay, with your business. But write them down, but importantly, help your new consultant write them down. On the launch guide, there is a section, but I encourage them to actually develop their goals a lot more than just what's on the launch guide. But write it down. And I'm going to tell you this, if you don't write it down, it's not going to help them as they write it down. It's got to be true to you. You've got to have a game plan. You've got to have a roadmap in what you're doing, okay? As we conclude here, Global Convention, October 2023. If you're a brand new consultant within the last couple months, can I encourage you? These are awesome, okay? When I first started with LifeVantage, I was a little nervous this was just going to be a bunch of motivational mumbo jumbo. And I was like, I do not want to go to this. I don't want to hear a bunch of people from stage saying, Jason, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And I walk away saying, yeah, I know I can, but can somebody tell me how to do it? But I walked away from the very first ever global convention that we ever had, and I was floored, and I was like, they actually taught me something. That was cool. I actually learned, and I told my wife, I said, I'll never come back one of these empty-handed without having other consultants with me. And it has been 12 and a half years, and we have never gone without other consultants, and it's been a game changer. So if you are a brand new consultant, can I just encourage you, you will not be disappointed. You will not walk away and say that was a waste of time and money. You will be happy that you went. And again, it's San Antonio, it's on the Riverwalk, for crying out loud. It's one of the coolest things that you can do. So, okay? All right, well, I can teach you how to share a cart. You want to learn how to share a cart? Do we all know how to share a cart? I didn't think so. All right, you can share a cart. I did learn something as I'm going through all these slides, that if you share a cart, that link does expire. I learned that. And that didn't cost me a sale, but it almost cost me a sale.
Really?
Yeah. I had it on my profile on my Instagram account, and somebody said they were about ready to order, and I just had that shopping cart linked to the Healthy Glow Stack, and I had it up there for like 4 months. The person was trying to order, and they said, it's not letting me order. I'm like, what are you talking about? They said, your link's not working. What are you talking about? Went to link, sure enough, it was an expired link, so your shopping cart's due. So I just now have my Instagram profile just to my main page there. So anyway, that's just something as a side point there. All right, well, any questions about any of this? I mean, there's a lot more I could cover, but for sake of time, any questions about any of this? Pretty self-explanatory. I get it. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you coming out on Friday night. Seriously, what is wrong with you?